Hi friends, welcome back to your channel. Sales is always fun. For a sales professional to be successful, it's 70% the mind game. Balance 15% is how well he's able to communicate. And now, today we are going to look at communication in this episode. Welcome to the part 2 of our communication episode.
When you get onto the stage, who is the hero? You as a speaker or the audience? Anybody else with difference of opinion? Speaker. How many of you say speaker? And how many of you say audience? You're right. Audience is the hero. Although the spotlight is on you because you're going to speak for them. So the audience is the hero. You are not the hero. So before you get onto your presentations or your stage performance or whatever it is, you need to be very clear. I am doing this for them. Even if you're presenting a paper, it has to be appealing to the professors on the other side. If it is not appealing to them, the game is lost. So the hero is the audience. Now, can I use complex words to impress people? Yeah. Anybody who says yes? Anybody who says that I can use complex words like the one there? Depends on the situation. No. Yes, she's right. You should not be using complex words to impress people. If I use words like glossophobia now, and if I use some 4-5 words like that, you will all disengage with me because you do not know what it is. By the way, glossophobia is a very important word. If you're in public speaking, this term refers fear of public speaking because public speaking is the second most feared thing under the sun by human beings. First is death. The second thing people fear the most is public speaking. So glossophobia means fear of public speaking. So when you're going to do your presentation, be clear in your mind about these two facts. Don't play around. The audience is the king. What I'm going to present is for them, and I'll have to put it in as simple language as possible. And before you even start preparing your speech or your presentation material, check out for whom is it, who is going to be the audience, and what is the content the audience is looking forward to. So I'll have to give my presentation accordingly. And why am I doing it? Am I going to give them the basic knowledge like what I'm doing now, or am I trying to move the people, saying do this, like the late Chief Minister Jayalalitha used to say, saving ra. And where? You have to be very clear. Where is the venue where I'm going to do it? Am I going to do it online through Zoom, through Google Meet, or is it going to be face to face? You got to be very clear. And yes, what time am I going to do the presentation, and how am I going to deliver the content? So you got to answer these questions even before you sit to make a speech or a presentation. Unless you are clear about all this, don't start preparing. Answer these questions. Once you are clarity on this, then go ahead and prepare. Now the purpose, because this is again very important. Why am I doing it? What is the purpose of me giving this speech, of me giving this presentation? It can be either sharing insider information, asking for a decision. Maybe you're presenting to your boss to get some extra budget tomorrow when you're in the corporate world. So you got to be very clear whether you want to change the audience perception, like Vijay was trying to say, yes, I'm into politics by the speech he gave. I'm just not an actor alone. I am also into politics. Selling a product, most of you who get into the game of sales will be doing this. You may have some clear-cut presentation given by the organization, but you still got to make it tailor-made to the audience, to your customer, and maybe enabling the audience to learn more like what is happening now. First, you got to know what the topic is. What is the topic I'm going to talk on? You got to know who the audience is. Then you collect your data. You collect information as to what I have to present. There are various sources, library, this, that. You can go start working on your data collection, and you need to have clarity in your mind. What is the message that I'm going to send across? What is my message to the people, to the audience? Because if I come with 100 messages, it will be lost. Couple of key messages that I need to send across to my audience. Even if you're presenting to your professors, you need to be clear what is that one message I'm going to give to my professor about this. And even if you're using slides, if you see most of my slides, you'll see only pictures, because you as a presenter is the hero. Because you will have to have the audience eyes on you and not on the presentation. There's only one presentation where I had a lot of writing because I had no other option, where I spoke about different clarity, this, that, about what is presentation. Otherwise, you see most of it is just pictures and nobody can make out what it is. How many of you have done mind mapping? Good. Anybody else? Mind mapping? No. Do it religiously. You can do it for all your subjects. It will remain in your mind easily. And then prepare your speech. Now, normally an average Indian knows about 10,000 words in English, but only 2,000 is used most frequently. So you got to see how you can play around with the words that you have written down. And you got to, for example, the simple sentence, I did not kick him. If I say I did not kick him, which means I didn't kick him, somebody else would have kicked him. I did not kick him, which means I would have pushed him or punched him. The punctuation matters. I did not kick him means I kicked somebody else. A simple word, you need to know where, how you are going to give emphasis on. Just a simple 4-sentence word, but in a long sentence, you know where, which word you should emphasize on. Because only then it will reach your audience. You got to tell stories. Now, we'll come to that little. See, stories is something all human beings like because we are all emotional people. As a human being, we are very emotional. I'll give you a simple example. You would have gone for buying your Diwali dress or dress sometime, and you might have your favorite color, say a blue or green, blue color, let's assume. So when you go to the shop, you see another beautiful blue dress. What happened? You would have decided, I will not buy blue and go, but when you see the dress, you will pick it and you will say, I don't have this blue with this design. I have other blue, right? So we are all emotional beings. We are not logical as we think we are. Every decision is taken emotional and then we top it up with logic. So when you tell stories, people start liking it. In fact, Steve Jobs, his famous speech, he starts, let me tell you 3 stories from my life. You can YouTube and find out the 3 stories in my life. A very famous speech by Steve Jobs. That's how he starts. Humor is something which all of us love. If you can sprinkle more humor into your speech, your audience attention is guaranteed. You can use metaphors like I slept like a baby, things like that you can start using. You can use analogies comparing two uncommon things to something very familiar. Synonyms, same word. I mean, you have a word, you can have different words meaning the same thing. Super, fantastic, great, lovely. The moment you say that, it sticks to the mind. Repetition works beautiful. How many of you heard this speech? I have a dream. King Martin Luther. That revolutionized the US black rights. That one speech, I have a dream. He uses this word about 22 times. I have a dream, US will be like this. I have a dream, US will be like this. Blacks have equal rights. I have a dream. And that speech is very famous. Any of you who are going to give presentations or going to work on it, better listen to that. Don't miss it. Pauses. This is very important. You would have realized during course of my speech, I've been pausing a lot. See, pause is something that will get your audience attention. Now, let me give an example. See, friends, if you want to get selected in a big company, you need to have all your attention. Because you need to, then I pause, and then immediately you said there's something very important coming, right? After each sentence, do pause. And when you are on the stage speaking, after each sentence, you can move your eyes. Don't move your view in between. So, pause is very important. Giving examples that anyway most of us will be doing it, but still I put it in. Give example. When you give a point, you can give examples wherever possible. Do it because the more examples you give, and as a public speaker, the more personal experience you give, the more impactful it is. If you are in the public, Vijay, you have seen Vijay's speech because why I'm taking it as a very good speech which he gave. You may have difference of opinion whether he's a good actor, bad actor, things like that. But that day, that speech was good. So you may have he gave examples from his life only. That's why people liked it. And if you want to get people's attention to you, if you want to emotionally get them hooked on to you, you can talk on these subjects. You talk of money, everybody will listen to you. How to make money, how to sell, how to be in the stock market. The moment you talk of money, everybody listen to you. And if you talk of fear, say if you don't do this course, you will not get your job here, right? Fear is another thing that gets everybody's attention. And if you are gratitude to somebody, you say thank you. If you express gratitude to somebody, or if you want to thank somebody, that gets attention. And of course, universal language is sex, which everybody likes. Now with this, having put all this on the paper, you may think your speech is ready, right? It is not. Now that you have done so much of homework, you have put everything in the paper, everything is ready, and here I am telling you the speech is still not ready. You know why? Because every speech has 3 parts. The opening. You are seeing the non-verbal communication. First 7 seconds is where you get people's attention and they give you. In the first 20 seconds, you decide whether you should listen to me or not. Exactly 20 seconds, that's all. Within those 20 seconds, if you don't crack your audience, you are lost. And similarly, how you close your sale, how you close your speech. Well, these two will leave a lasting impression on the audience. In between may not. So even if you're giving a presentation to your professor, just don't start by vomiting out all the technicality. Try to add some emotion. So we will look at some of the good openings that you can give for your speech. You can ask a question like I did now. You can ask an open-ended question, yes, no, or raise of hands. Right? This is one way of opening. Questioning is very, very powerful. The moment you as a speaker ask questions, you are in control, right? At class, when the professor asks questions, the professor is in control, right? You are under their control when they ask you the question. Or when the policeman questions the criminal, he's under control. So whoever asks question takes control first. So questioning is a very powerful tool to start your speech. And then yes, you can arise curiosity by giving half sentence or something related to the topic. Because all your opening has to be related to the topic. Use an exhibit is another way of starting your speech. An incident from real life related to the topic. Like I told, we are all people who like stories. We are emotional people. So you start with a story in your real life. It works. Again, state something which people will be arrested to. Like, you can just throw statistics. Doesn't help. Like we were doing for organ donation recently. So when somebody came and said out of 10 lakh people, only 54 people in India registered for organ donation, it just didn't take on. Nobody was so what? But then moment we gave it a story behind it, the boy falling sick and he wanting an organ donation and nobody is giving. The audience took the story. A small boy wanting organ donation, nobody giving organ. So that moved the story clearly out. And the moment we said only 54 people out of 10 lakh people are willing to donate organ in India, immediately the entire auditorium was willing to donate. Entire auditorium signed up for donation. So incredible quotes they start off with. Even Karnataka, these many speeches you can see he starts with this. And you can also say what the audience can expect. Okay, I come here, this you can use it for your presentation in your college and even in official life you can use it. You can say, I'm come here, I'm going to talk about these 4-5 points and start the speech. You can start with a poem or music related to the topic. Yes. Again, same, it should be funny, humorous. Humor is another way which would catch everybody's attention fast. The moment you start with a joke, and especially if you make fun of yourself, it gets taken in fast. Now, similarly, you have to have a good closing, because when you leave the hall, your speech should remain in the mind with your closing. Unless you give a good closing, your speech will not be in the mind. You can also run a quiz towards the end, asking audience, call for action, like what Jayalalitha used to do, saying, very good example for her doing it. Climax at the peak is when you are narrating an incident. In fact, your whole speech could be about an incident. You just narrate, take it to the peak and then leave it. At the peak where you say that you climax it and then leave the audience in suspense. That's one way of closing. Now you have done all this, your speech is ready.
So we will end this episode here. Please do not forget, press the subscription and the bell button so that you are intimated when the next video is loaded. Thank you. Bye bye.